Hi guys, my name is Yaden Raz. If you don't already know me, I am a singer-songwriter from Melbourne, Australia, and this video is for you guys. So a few days ago, I've asked you on Snapchat and Instagram to ask me any questions that you have in regards to the music industry. Whether you're just starting, whether you're already in it, but you're just not too sure of how to do certain things. And so I've gathered all of your questions and I went through them. And I've just written in dot points things that I thought might help you. So if you're interested, keep on watching. To make it easier, I decided I'm gonna write in points what I've suggested, and I'm gonna write down in a description where you can jump specifically to the point that you want to hear in time of that video. So I hope that makes it easier for you. So this video is specifically for the music industry, but then again you can definitely take points from it for any aspect in your life, whether you want to be, you know, an entrepreneur, or whether you want to excel in your studies, or just for life in general. I just want to start by saying I'm not intending to be an expert. I am not. I'm purely speaking from my own personal experiences and with the hope of just helping you guys. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the first point I want you to ask yourself is why? Why are you in it? Why have you decided to go into the music industry? This will make sure that you chose the right industry for you and you're in it for the right reasons. So do you want it for fame? Do you want it to help others? Do you want it because this is a fire burning inside of you, your creativity side, and you feel the need to express yourself? These might be different answers that you're gonna have, but just make sure that you're in it for the right reasons, because it might seem all glamorous, but it really isn't, and it's a lot of hard work and dedication. So when you're struggling, that is when you go back to that question and you go and answer yourself why you're doing this. For example, my reason is music was there for me when nothing else was, and it really helped me. It literally saved my life, and I want to be that person for someone else. So that might be the reason why you want to do it as well. So yeah, it's just something that you really want to ask yourself, because with anything that you choose in life, you really need to make sure that you're doing this because you want it and you actually have a good intention behind it, and not just something that, you know, for example, fame. It's not a valid reason in my opinion. Second point, I want you to understand that it is a process. The music industry is not, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, your success. And that's with anything in life. It requires a lot of hard work, dedication, being precise, and really understanding that everyone is running their own race, running their own journey in life. If you see someone succeeding, embrace it. You know, be genuinely happy for them, and don't feel the need to be pressured or anything like that. Everyone is running their own race. Everyone is running their own journey, and when the student is ready, the teacher will come. You just need to make sure you work hard for it, so when that moment comes, you can just grab it. Okay, my third point is be an artist. Today, it's not just good enough to be a singer, unless I guess you're going to X Factor or whichever TV show that is, but be an artist. Nowadays, you need to understand that you need to step up your game, and also, you know what, actually even after you finish those shows, the expectations of the industry are you not just being a singer, but being able to produce a sound. So what I mean by that is learn an instrument, learn how to write songs, learn the terminology when you go to record. Ask the producer, ask the sound engineer, what are they doing? Like, learn, observe, really soak in everything that you can from this industry, from the process, and really appreciate it as well at the same time. So for example, I loved songwriting since I was very young, but I neglected it, and I went more into singing and, you know, developing my sound, developing my voice, learning who I am as an artist. And when I combined it with my songwriting, that's when I found who I am and what is my sound, what is Yaden as the artist. For anything almost, that's one of the most important, vital things that you need to understand. You need to know exactly who you are, because also when you go to meetings with record labels, with producers, with managements, you need to know who you are and what is your sound. That way you can know who is your crowd and what kind of market you're aiming for as well. So that's really, really important. All right, my fourth point is be consistent. I can't even stress enough how important that is, because you can't just be very motivated from the get-go, and then when it's starting to be a bit rough and tough and it's not going according to your plan, or maybe it takes longer than you thought, stop the momentum and then, you know, pretty much neglect what you worked for so long. So it's really, really important to understand that you have to be consistent. It's like, look at it sometimes as a work schedule. You know, if you have 9 to 5 job, you have to go to work 9 to 5 days a week. You can't just say to your boss, oh, sorry, I'm not feeling it today. Saying that though, you don't want to force your flow as an artist. You do want to let it come to you as is. But what I'm saying is, I sometimes have writer's block, and I definitely don't feel motivated all the time. I really don't. But what I do is, when I don't feel that way, I make myself motivated. So either I will watch documentaries with artists that I love, with artists that inspire me to become a better artist, to realize that you do have those ups and downs, but you have to just keep on going a bit more and more and push yourself towards that top. If I feel like I can do some work, or even if I don't, actually, you know what, sorry, scratch that. If I don't feel like I can write, I go and I research. It's so important to know your industry, you know, to know who are you facing, who is against who represents who. Just do your research, and you'll find, for me, the more I do things for my future, that's how I find my track back into that motivation and into being consistent again, and into working again and producing and creating new things. So, and you never know, that might even be a revelation. You might even meet that way a producer, or you know, you never know. You never ever know what's going to happen. So just keep on working hard, keep on hustling. I really, really hope it makes sense and I'm not just mumbling, but let's just go to the next point. Okay, so my next point is learn from your mistakes and your successes. And what I mean by that is, you need to, everything that you do, whether it's a gig, whether it's making videos, whether it's writing songs and producing them, learn from everything, soaking everything that you do. Go back. When I first started having singing lessons, and I still do that, I would tape everything, and I would go back and I would listen to that singing lesson, listen to how I performed, listen to what I did, and learn from my mistakes and learn for what I need to, you know my strengths and weaknesses, and improve on my weaknesses, obviously, emphasize the strength that I have so far and bring more of that. Really know where you're standing, know what you need to do at that point in time. It's really all about just mastering your craft. Be the best that you can be in your genre, be the best that you can be in songwriting, be the best that you can be in whatever it is. Just push yourself all the time to go up a level and step it up and progress. And nothing is easy at the beginning of it. Nothing is, you know, it's not going to be all smooth slide, but the more you push yourself, it's going to become easier and easier and easier and easier. And it's going to feel amazing and rewarding when you're going to look back and, you know, write a song on piano when at first you couldn't even play one note. Well, you could, because you just press it, but when you couldn't play a chord, for example. Okay, my next point is study the industry. Know who you're facing against, know who are the managers, know who are the producers, the studios, the record labels that are right for you, that are not right for you. Learn from their successes and failures as well. It's not, you don't actually have to just experience yourself and know from your own experiences what's right and what's wrong. Go read biographies, read advices from those who made it already. Go and watch documentaries. Like, really observe and soaking everything that you can know in order to help you to become the better version that you can be as an artist. Alright, gig. If you want to be an artist, which I'm assuming you do if you're already watching this video, is you have to know how to entertain. You have to know how to create an audience, how to keep them interested in you. So go and gig, go busk, go to perform in pubs, go to perform in restaurants, go to perform at venues, whatever it is, go and be out there, go and perform. Learn who you are as a performer, not just as a singer or as a songwriter. Know your strength, know your weaknesses. Again, know how to captivate a crowd, know how to interact with them. And it's not only about performing, it's also about creating an audience, because guess what, they're gonna, if they really like you, they're gonna look you up. And make sure also you have your social media already there, so that way you can start creating yourself a momentum and start creating yourself a following base. It's also, you know, people that would like you would ask you to perform at their event. So it's more money. It's like you get money, you get audience, you start networking because you gonna meet people out there that are doing the same thing. You're gonna collaborate. Like, you'll be amazed. There's a whole scene that, you know, in Melbourne, as big as Melbourne is, the music industry is so small. Everyone knows everyone, and when you're there, one thing leads to the next and everything starts clicking, and it's the same everywhere, I'm sure. So just make sure to be out there, make sure to not be afraid or don't be shy. Go and network, go out of your comfort zone. I used to have a stage fright, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes, the more fun you have on the stage. It is so much fun, you know, vibing and having this electricity with the crowd and having that incredible atmosphere that you're creating with your sound. It's such an amazing achievement to have. So don't be afraid, don't be shy, and go and gig. And also another point actually in regards to gigging, if you're just starting, guess what, I've done, you're not gonna get a gig and you can't just ask for a certain payment and expect to have it like $800 for an hour gig. You can't, not at first. You have to really make sure that you are, you know, if the moment you're putting yourself out there, that's the moment, you know, first impressions are so important, and that's who you are as an artist in their eyes. They don't know anything else, they just know what they see in that particular moment. So make sure it's the best thing you can have. And in order to get to that point, you have to gig a lot for free. And I'm not saying that you should, you know, a lot of people say that if they give you a stage, that's the payment, blah blah blah. It is not. But at first, when you're first starting, you might as well want to use that, because then it doesn't really matter if you mess up, right? So just go out there, perform, do them as much as you can, and then after you can ask for payments, and you can really, you know, don't let anyone abuse you because they're giving you a stage or whatever, because that's just not right as well. So, but yeah, just start from that point and then build yourself up. So that leads me to the next point. Don't let people use you, whether it's for gigs. Know your rate. If it's not good enough for you, if it's not covering all your expenses, don't do it unless you really like it, unless it's an amazing opportunity and you really, you know, you feel like you can get something out of it. Don't let people use you. And it's not just with the gigging world, it's also in the recording aspect. I have experienced myself, and I know a lot of my fellow female artists have experienced as well, some sexual abuse by producers. The music industry is amazing, but can also be quite shady. And make sure that if you don't know that person, if you get a wrong vibe, or if you're not feeling comfortable, and especially if it's just the first meeting, go with someone. Make sure you are being protected, that someone can help you in case something happens. And just be wary of these things. You know, people can give you lots of empty promises in the air, but just my advice is there's no such thing as free gifts. Really be skeptical of anything that people are telling you, and just be really careful. So that's something very important to keep in mind. Alright, my next point is, do not expect anyone ever to do the work for you. It is your dream, it is your ambition, your work, so you have to put the work and the effort yourself. People will help you, people will do some sort of jobs for you at the end, when you get a manager, when you get a booking agent, but never ever, from the very beginning to the very end of your career, whenever it may be, don't expect people to do the work for you. Make sure that you are the person that works hard no matter what stage or whatever success you have. Be that person that people are inspired to work for them, that you inspire others, that you are being kind and hard worker, and can't even stress enough how people think that, you know, they have this dream of being, you know, a famous singer. A dream is not an outcome of a miracle, it's an outcome of hard work and persistency. You have to make sure that you dedicate your life for what you want to do, what you want to become. It is your dream and no one else's, and remember that. Please remember that. Don't expect people, you know, I have so many people asking me some sort of questions, and I'm happy to answer, but when it comes to the point, for example, when people wanting me to do that research for them, it kind of like, I'm happy to give away things and contacts, don't get me wrong. You know, this is why I'm making this video, for you guys to also have some sort of knowledge that you might be lacking or you find that you're missing, but you appreciate so much more what you're getting at the end of the day when you know that is you who did the effort, and that you know that you went there and you worked hard for it. So what I would suggest is, you know, if you want producers, go to Google and search the best pop producers or the best indie producers in New York, in Melbourne, whatever it is. Go and do your research, go and put the effort in, go and practice your instrument, go and find your own gigs, like do things yourself, and then also everything else will come from that. So just keep on working hard and don't expect any miracles to happen at first. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be pessimistic, I'm really not, I'm a very optimistic person, but sometimes I feel like people mistake the music to, you know, this glamorous world, which it is, it's a beautiful world, but at the end of the day you need to also dedicate a lot of yourself for it to happen. Alright, my next point is such a vital point. No matter what industry you're at, no matter where you're at in your life, my next one is know who you are. It really doesn't matter if you're succeeding in the music industry or not. It's a gift for life to know who you are as a person and obviously as an artist, but know who you are, know what is your sound, know what are your weaknesses, your strength, and I'm not just speaking in terms of music, I'm speaking in terms of your personality, because everything will line up eventually in the music industry, whether you like it or not. Depends also like what kind of industry, but if you have a great success, and even if you don't, you are putting yourself out there as a performer. People will interact with you, people will meet you, they will get to know you. You need to know how to interact with them back. You need to know what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths. Are you funny? Are you shy? Are you a good person? Are you genuine? Like, because otherwise it can come backlashing at you and people speak and people speculate. So you need to really know who you are, because also people will tell you sometimes who you are and what you need to be and what their expectations of you, whether it's, you know, a crowd or a family member that tries to give you advice, whether it's your manager or a record label. In order to really be in line with your branding, you need to know who you are, and that way later on it's not just a facade that you're putting on the stage, unless that's part of your branding, but everything is in line, and it's actually going to keep you sane as well, because you're not so far away from who you are as a person. So it's all really important to know who you are, and it's a journey of discovery, including your sound and everything, but it's something so important important, because that way when someone is, you know, saying something they shouldn't say, or someone is trying to direct you in a certain direction that is not matching what you actually need right now in order to get to where you need to be, or it doesn't match your branding, you know that that is not right, and you will stand up for yourself because you are confident in yourself, because you know who you are. I hope that makes sense. Alright, my next point is so crucial. You need to surround yourself, especially in such a industry, you need to surround yourself with people that are genuine. Good people that will tell you things for what they are and not necessarily for what you want to hear. And it might not be the easiest thing to do or to hear or to have in your life, but it's something so important, because it's tough love, but it's love that actually is genuine, because these people care for you and they're not afraid to tell you what they actually think, for good and for bad. In this kind of industry, you'll hear a lot of people praising you and saying things that they think you might want to hear at that point of time, but it's only gonna mess up with your character. It might even mess up with your artistry. You really need to make sure you surround yourself with, from your friends to family to team members, especially team members, surround yourself with people that are genuine, people that are good, and people that have good intention in their heart for you. So that's very important. My next point is know your strengths and weaknesses and really work on them. So I touched beforehand a little bit on that, but I really want to make sure you understand that it's part of knowing who you are. It's part of, you know, that branding, that journey, running your own race. When you know your strengths and your weaknesses, that's the only way that you can evolve and develop and get to the point where you want to get. So say for example, I know my strengths are interaction with people. I know my strengths as a performer, for example, are being on the stage, losing myself in the songs. I know what is my range, I know my songwriting skills, and I know what my weaknesses are. So when I know what they are, I know what I can work on. I know how I can improve. I know when I go and, for example, have a meeting with someone, what I can show them that is my strength, and that way it will kind of deteriorate from my weaknesses, if that makes sense. So the music industry is something obviously you do it for your passion, and you really need to love it in order to stay in it. But at the end of the day, if you're going into the commercial side, and if you want to have a success is actually going to help you financially a lot, you need to understand it's also a business, and you need to know how to market yourself. And that's the only way that you can do that, and also that's the only way that you can actually go up a level with anything in life. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Alright guys, we're almost there. I promise we're almost there. Alright, my next point is the most incredible gift I can give you ever. This is something that every successful person is doing right now, and in the past it's been proven by Albert Einstein to work. It's physics, and it is a way of life that I've discovered when I was 10 without realizing what I'm doing, but it just all lines up. So my next point is visualize where you want to be and know that it is yours to have. The moment you ask from the universe what you want to have, it is already coming to you. So you need to act like it's yours. It's on its way. I might sound a bit bizarre to some people right now, but I don't know if you've heard of the law of attraction. If you haven't, please do your research and look it up. The law of attraction is pretty much, the sum of it is a thought attracts a thought, an action attracts an action. What you think about, you bring about. So, you know, it's pretty much, it's obvious whether if you're positive and if you have a positive outlook, positive and good things will happen and come to you. Same thing vice versa. If you're being negative, then bad things will happen to you, and negativity will find you. It's something that's been proven by Albert Einstein, as I said. It's something that I've experienced myself to be working, and it is the most incredible gift that you can have. Look it up. Look how many people are actually following it, especially Jim Carrey. Look up the video. I'm gonna link it down below, the video with Jim Carrey interviewed by Oprah. Oprah is another person, by the way, who is a big, huge believer of it. It is incredible. It will change your life. It will, honestly will. And I started by doing it, just literally visualizing and asking for things I want to have out of, you know, being a kid. I was 10, I didn't have much, and I wanted to have a better life. And for me, that was kind of imagination game that I did with my sister in our room. We would speak about things that we want to have as if it's ours, and just to make us feel better. And believe it or not, these things came to pass. So, and then after I obviously looked it up, and I realized it's actually a thing. And you know, with The Secret, the book The Secret came out back then, and also like other things I watched online, and I realized it's actually a thing. So ever since, I just kept it as my way of life, and it's honestly changed my life tremendously. So I highly advise you to search that. I'm gonna link in below the video with Jim Carrey and just explanation of the law of attraction. Okay, it's something so vital for you to understand and comprehend it. It's not easy at first, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Alright, that's a specific question because someone asked me, if you want to have a manager, what should you do in order to find the right one? What do you do in order to get a good manager? I recommend it all comes in lines up with those points that I said before. You know, like do your research and visualize what you want to have and all of that. But at the end of the day, put your things, be out there, put your stuff, your music out, send it to people, send it to managements. You know, I always advise to create your own race. So what I mean by that is, if you're good enough, people will come to you, and that way you have a point of advantage. But saying that, with managements and publishings and things like that, you might want to step it up yourself. It's not a record label, it's something that can actually bring you to the point where you can be presented to a record label. But yeah, so just pretty much make sure you have songs, good ones. Pick the best ones that you think they are, like top three, and then send it to managements with your bio and a photo, a short bio, like literally like 2 sentences and a photo of you, and then, or if you have a link to a website or something, and send. Know the managements though, like if you do your homework, pick the artists that you love and search who's managing them and things like that, and then send it to those people. But saying that, again, everything happens for a reason. Everything will come to you in good time. So the more you do gigs, the more you be out there. It's actually being out there and doing what you love. That's when it's going to come to you. But don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone and send your stuff out there. And my last point, which is the most important point, be you. It is so hard to lose ourselves in this game, in the game of life, and you know, become something that we think people expect us to be. It is so important to remember that your uniqueness is your power, and God has formed you in the way that you are for a certain reason. Don't change for anyone. Don't change yourself to fit in the mold of society or the mold of record labels or anything that people think that you should be. Just stay true to yourself, just stay true to your values, be a good person, and good things will happen for you. So I really, really, really hope that it helped you. I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm assuming it's quite long, but I'm not going to edit a lot of the things that I've said, just because I really want you to soak in everything. I love you guys. Stay real, stay true to yourself. Keep on dreaming, keep on working hard and hustling, keep on spreading love, and I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hoped I helped you. I wish you all the very best with your dreams and I hope it will come to pass. I love you. Take care of one another and good luck. Mwah.